Well, hello and welcome to another final round of the season for the BMW Car Club of America National Capital Chapter. We're at Hockenheim this week. First time we've come to this track, and our championship is settled. However, we do have second through fifth in the championship to sort out. If I can bring up those graphics. Give me one moment. Make sure these are hopefully the updated version. Maybe not. I put that on the screen. That is not what we wanted, but I need to pull up these graphics here. Hopefully syncs up for us. Okay, so basically the battle between second to fifth and the battle between Treakle, Dietrich, Hill, and Kennedy. That is to be sorted out tonight, as well as everybody else in the series here. Sorting out their championship points. Dietrich taking the victory. He had 6 wins so far. Chris Hill missed a few races, so that put him back as much as he is. But Darren missed some races as well. But Aaron Dietrich, Darren Treakle, also going to be up in there too. So we're right at the end of qualifying here. This is Hockenheimring. Going to be the first time we broadcast, or at least I've broadcast it here on the channel. We did run a race over in the Formula India series last season here. A little bit different car though. I'm trying to think, what were we running in terms of lap time? I want to say we ran a minute 21. Not sure if that's entirely correct or not, though. Significantly faster, really long straightaways. The straightaways should make it for some good passing zones into the hairpin. I will go over the track map when we get to it, or at least not the track map, but the corner numbers with an onboard, but we've only got about 30 seconds left in qualifying. I think everything is sorted. We were going to have Hill take that provisional pole. I don't see anybody else out on the track, so let's go ahead, get these started. I think it's a short pace lap here. Chris Hill, minute 37.882. Steve Ficacci, P2. Darren Treakle, P3. Aaron Dietrich, P4. So our familiar names, all top 5 guys in the top 5 here. Peter Lanik, P6. Yakov Bielik, P7. Dean Tulin, P8. Jesse Brannon, P9. Scott Kim, P10. Peter Yerkes, P11. Matthew Stover, P12. Sten Cellier, Beltway Brewing Company, P13. Robert Benson, P14. So that's what we've got for tonight. Kind of a smaller field, but new track. For some reason, we got the Mustang pace car out here tonight, here in Germany. And like I said, this is going to be a shorter pace lap. But yeah, this is going to be a final broadcast of the BMW Car Club here on the channel, on Race First. They're going to be moving over to another channel next season in January. Season will start in December, but the broadcast will be in January, and that's over on the V-Speed channel. I'm sure Scott and the admins will let everybody know the links to that new broadcaster, and I wish them luck in the series. And as I've talked to Scott, I'll be probably showing up for a few races. I can't broadcast them all, so I can't, do this every week like I'd been doing it. Just too busy in the real world to do this, so that's why I've had to give it up. But I might show up from time to time for a few races here and there, and I'm looking forward to doing that. I don't really know the cars as well. GTE is what they're going to be running next season, the BMW. No ABS brakes on those, so I do like that part of it. And we're gridding here. Let's see. I guess we could take a moment quickly. Put him side by side, Chris Hill.
I'm the owner and chief instructor of Precision Racing Instruction. I've been coaching racing and high-performance driving professionally for over 22 years. With experience in anything from karts to formula cars to rally cars to sports cars to sim racing and a bit of everything in between, I can help you no matter what form of racing you do. We specialize in a precision approach to improving both your car control and racecraft to make you the best driver you can be. For a limited time, we are offering a special deal for anyone who mentions the Formula Indy Series, 15% off your first coaching session. either in the sim or in person. On top of that, I'm offering a one-time free video or data analysis for new students. Reach out to us either through Instagram or Facebook.
All right, behind the Mustang pace car, BMW M4 Gt3, we'll be running the M8 GTE next season. I think a lot of the drivers, we're gonna be running fixed setups in that as well. This season we've been running open setups. Gonna be switching back to the fixed setup in hopes of getting some fresh drivers into the series. Chris Hill bringing us to green flag, and we are green. 40 minutes here. As I set my phone to do not disturb, into turn one they go. Really big bumps here at Hockenheim. Everybody cleanly through. Into the next set of corners here. We'll go through the corner numbers in a bit. But heading back up to the front, this is a long run. Best passing point on the track. Bakachi in the slipstream of Chris Hill. He's going to make a move, and this is a hairpin. Probably hardest braking point we've had in the series. We've got... who is that? Diving inside. It's Atlantic was diving inside. But everybody cleanly through. Oh, Stenselier back here a bit. Robert Benson through into 13th for them. And now we get to a bit of a slower section of the course. I'm going to go on board, I think, with Darren Treakle for the onboard here. And then we'll go through corner numbers after we go across the start-finish line. So we're running like 40% fuel in these cars. So I'm expecting 2 pit stops here tonight. Occasionally we've had some 2-stoppers. As let's get on board with Darren. Using a lot of space. Heading into turn 1. This is the Nord curve. Big sausage curves on the right at the apex of that corner. Heading on to turn 2. Not as big of curves here, but you still don't want to hit that sausage out there. This is 3 and 4. Just a slight kink, couple corners there. And this gradually curving straight away to the left hand is the Parabolica, turn 5. Heading to the hairpin up ahead. You can see Darren is saving a little bit of fuel. You could hear him get off of the acceleration as they headed up into the hairpin there. Into this kink that is turn 7. And in the Mercedes corner turn 8. Really easy to go off, go wide on that corner, but looks like everybody here is just fine. Turn 9 and 10. 10 is really easy to go off on the left side over there. There's a big old curb over there too. That was the Mobile 1 curve, turn 11. Into the Sachs curve, turn 12. On board with Darren Treakle, Steve Fikachi P2, Chris Hill up there in P1. And that was turn 14, 15, and 16, and that is a lap here at the Hockenheimring. A little bit different than the old Hockenheimring. This, they went through the woods, basically. Nobody really quite challenging. Back here, Lanik and Kennedy battling one another. Probably a better battle back here. Scott Kim's going to be our interview car tonight as the admin of the series. He'll be our wild card, and we will go ahead and interview him. Final race here. So we'll be giving in addition to the podium, of course. Go on to the static cams here, get a sense of speed through the corners here. There's Bielik in the orange car, really easy to spot there. Tulin behind him, SEO Mike car. So there was an option here, actually, all season, in fact, where people could drive the Z4 if they wanted. And Scott was going to run the Z4. I was always telling them all season, if anybody runs that Z4, they were going to be the definite interview position. And Scott did run that in the practice session yesterday in the warm-up race. He was not too happy with it. He said it was really slow compared to these cars. And I told him, hey, feel free to run the M4. I'll give you the interview anyway. Worth the effort of trying to drive those cars. So here at the front, Chris Hill kind of checking out a little bit, about a 1.5 lead. Darren Treakle about a half a second back from Steve Ficacci there in P2. So I was imagining that there would be a lot of fuel burn here because of this really long straightaway there where you're really on the gas, not much way that they can fuel save there. You can see Kennedy on the exit of that corner using a lot of that curve, or a lot of that curb, sorry. Go on board with Kennedy. Let's do something different. There we go. You'll be able to see the huge curbs on the left side there. This Grays is up against them. Through a bit of the stadium section, there's a little bit of different lines that drivers tend to use in that corner, whether they go to the outside line in that corner or the inside line. And for some reason, there's a gigantic oil jug on at this track. Everybody's doing a good job avoiding that massive curb in turn 1. Looks to be that Steve Ficacci up there in P2 has gapped Darren Treakle by about a second. Looking back to Dean Tulin, a couple of orange cars, SEO Mike and Bielik, Scott Kim right behind there as well. Actually, that's Jesse Brannon there, not Scott Kim. Side by side, Bielik and Tulin go. They're going to be heading up to the hairpin. Side by side. Side by side, they still go at the exit of the hairpin. I think that Bielik has the inside line. He's going to have the corner, but then this goes to a left-hander where Tulin will have the preferred line. It looks like Tulin is going to make that work. He goes off, and that puts Jesse Brannon, who's had a heck of a couple of good races. Had an interview with him a couple weeks back when he had a really good run through the field, getting a lot of confidence with this car. Matt Stover here, blinking a little bit, it looks like. And just like that, we have about 8.5 minutes of this race done already. So something we've been discussing is Aaron Dietrich here in P4. He's been the master of fuel saving so far this season. He's a bit of a new driver this season. He might have done the last couple of rounds of the previous season, but he has yet to get that win, but he's been a regular on the podium this season and using a little bit of that fuel strategy to get him there. So I have to imagine that he might be doing something like that here today. Brian Kennedy right on Lanik into the hairpin at the exit. Kennedy's had a really good season as well. All over each other here. Got a fan of Dean in the audience here. Let's get him on the... Oh, we've got big time off by Jesse Brannon here. Keeps it going, though. Right behind Dean. That's going to give Dean a little bit of a gap there. He'll appreciate. And that puts Brannon into trouble from Bielik back here. Going on board with Bielik. Brannon up ahead really wide through that corner. Got Kim kind of lingering about a second back from this group. He's under pressure from Yerxa. I think I read that Yerxa had actually won the warm-up race last night. Speaking of which, looks like Treakle has caught Fikachi. I think Fikachi's probably saving a lot of fuel up here, whereas Chris Hill up ahead gapped about 2 seconds now. Currently best lap of the race by about a half a second is Chris Hill. And he's doing that all on his own, no draft, anything like that. I know Chris had a little bit of experience here, as I mentioned earlier in the broadcast. Formula Indy Series, Chris Hill has run that. He actually ran probably our exhibition race, and then he ran it in the regular season as well. I don't recall his finishing position, but we did have a big accident early in that race that I was involved in. I got hit in the rear and did not have a good race myself. Don't recall where Hill finished in that one. So Dean here, SEO Mike car. I guess we can go ahead. We're 28 minutes left in this race. Let's get mention of our sponsors here in the series. We've got SEO Mike, that is on Dean's car there. This is SEO Mike, specializes in organic search engine optimization. They've been doing it since 1997, and over that last 24 years, they've worked with over 4,000 websites in a wide variety of industries to achieve strong rankings in search engines, leading to growth in traffic, sales, and revenue. And the other one you see on the board there is Sten Cellier and Beltway Brewing Company. That's Sten's car right there on the side-by-side. The Beltway Brewing Company is located in Sterling, Virginia, and they proudly represent the DMV. You can check out their lineup of unique IPAs, lager, sour stouts, and even seltzers. Flights and empanadas by Proving Brothers are available in the tap room. And for all things Beltway, head on over to beltwaybrewco.com and follow them on the social medias at Beltway Brew Co. You can also, on Black Friday, you can check them out. They're going to have a special Imperial Stout for sale on Black Friday. So, as I mentioned on previous broadcasts, that is my preferred beer, but haven't had one in probably 5 years, I'd have to guess. But I wish I had. Change on over to intervals here. Good battle here developing from the second, third, and fourth. Fikachi in second, already taking the championship. Let me bring those up. So Chris Hill needs to have an issue from Treakle to get around him. Although we do have drop weeks, so I'm not 100% sure about the calculations there. Drop weeks make it really confusing to figure out who's actually going to move past someone. And while this battle developed, Aaron Dietrich is right there as well. Let's go on board with him. All right, just doing a little bit of getting that sound of that engine. I know that among the drivers, okay, we've got Brian Kennedy has hit the pit lane. He's the first of the takers. Definitely a two-stopper from here. He's going to look to do the undercut on Peter Lanek up here. Now, what these drivers from second, third, and fourth are going to try to do, though, is... I think these guys are trying to stretch it here, and Dietrich is probably in the best shape to do that. Kachi up here kind of leading this pack. He's going to be burning a little bit more fuel. Chris Hill, our leader, about a second and a half up ahead. He's just kind of on his own up here, but you can easily make a mistake. Looking at our other gaps here, I think that basically just this battle from second, third, and fourth is the best one out here. Go with the static cam, really show the speed through turn one here at Hockenheim. Quick pit stop for Brian Kennedy back there, who's currently running last. I think Jesse Brannon has just hit the pit lane as well, as has Scott Kim, so two stoppers there. There they are. Darren's right there. Thought he might make a dive for it, did not. So the target that these guys will be looking for is that 20-minute mark here. If they can make it to 20 minutes, then they should be pretty good. It won't be easy, but they should be pretty good to make it to the end here. It does require patience from these drivers when they want to do something like this strategy here of saving fuel. There is a fuel mixture button that they have on the wheel that they can use. But they, you know, it's a race car driver wants to go fast, and using that fuel meter, not the most fun thing. As we have Aaron Dietrich's he's not doing the one stopper, he's doing the two stopper. Definitely. He's gonna try to undercut these guys. Chris Hill also into the pit lane, our leader. So Fikachi and Treakle probably gonna be trying to make it one more lap at least. I think we're going to be setting up for some interesting strategy between these two cars and the rest of the field, who are doing the two stoppers for sure. We've got Lanek also in the pits, Dulene in the pits, Robert Benson hitting the pit lane as well. Literally everybody on track. Another one we're going to want to look at is where does Lanek come out in regards to Brian Kennedy here. Lanek plenty behind, so Kennedy getting that undercut working quite well here. About 2.5 seconds is Kennedy over Lanik. Let's see what Ficacci and Treakle do here. They're gonna go in. Ooh, be careful, Darren. You don't want to get unsafe pit entry. I think he's okay though. Getting down to the speed limit. Anybody else in the audience tonight? Let me know what cars you're looking for here. So Chris Hill gonna come around, and he's gonna retake the lead, I think, but we'll see here. Only 11.5 second stop, really quick stop for Chris here. See what Dietrich can do here. The Dietrich's up to full speed. And it's going to be a battle between Dietrich and Treakle here. Side by side. And Treakle's going to hold on for the moment here. Ficacci gaining about 1.5 seconds through that round of pit stops there. Brian Kennedy using that undercut tremendously. He's about only 1.5 seconds back now. Meanwhile, Chris Hill up here, literally 6 seconds ahead. He's checked out. Got Kim right behind Bielik back here. I'll keep an eye on this battle though. Some fans of Ficacci out here. Looks like this battle will continue to develop between Ficacci, Treakle, and Dietrich, and Kennedy just lurking in the background as well. But for the lead, Chris Hill, literally 8 seconds ahead at this point. Through that pit stop, he was just huge gain there. It's just tremendous. Kennedy using a lot of that curb back there on the exit of that final corner. Let's go on board with Dietrich here as he pressures. And we'll turn this up. Get that engine noise. You see Robert Benson might have retired it here. He's in 14th. Ooh, Darren right there on Ficacci's bumper up there. Gonna be go time here. Now the next question is, though, can they make it to the end of this race with the fuel tanks that they have? With Chris up here doing the two-stopper and being in the lead, this race might go an extra lap than they're figuring it will. We'll see. Have to see how that plays out. So it's timed race. It's 40 minutes. We're estimating about 25 laps, but based on how fast they go and when the checker flag or when the white flag comes out, they could either go 24, 25, or even 26 laps. It really just depends, and that can make a lot of difference there. So looking back at Dean Tulane here, he's kind of on his own at the moment. He's in 7th. He's got about 3 seconds up to Lanik and about 7 seconds back to Jesse Brannon back here. Let's just do, we're about 15 minutes in the race, so while I did that, let's go from the back of the field and go through the field. Peter Yerxa in P13. Sten Cellier in P12. Matt Stover there in P11, having started 12th. Scott Kim staying in his station here. He started 10th, running in 10th. Bielik has dropped back a couple spots. He's in 9th after starting 7th. Really good looking car, crafting for Acure.ca, the charity up in Canada that he runs every race. Jesse Brannon here in P8. Dean Tulane, SEO Mike car, as we've mentioned previously. A little bit different orange car than what Yakov was arriving back there. Peter Lanik here in P6. Yeah, having a good battle with Brian Kennedy earlier, but Brian's kind of checked out. He's back up to 5th. Everything's kind of staying stationed in this race. Everybody's where they qualified just about. Aaron Dietrich here, started P4. He's running P4. Darren here, P3. Same for Fakachi. And then 8.5 seconds up the track, not saving fuel at all, is Chris Hill. Dominating race so far, but he has to have this work in terms of he has to significantly gap because these cars back here. So Chris Hill, he's gonna pit one more time for a little bit of fuel. Gonna have to drive down that pit lane really slowly. So he needs a huge gap to make this work at the end. So one more sponsor shout out here. We've got Darren Treakle. I'll put him on screen. I mean, he is on screen, but we'll focus on him there on the side-by-side in that navy blue car. Treakle Insurance Agency. It's an independent insurance agency offering auto, home, business, and life insurance. And they've teamed up with Hagerty Insurance to provide collector car coverage as well as race car and track day coverage. And you can visit their website over at treakleinsurance.com. Right there on the screen. So I had to hesitate there for a moment because I was looking at how close Darren was to, or sorry, Aaron was to Darren's bumper there. He was right there lurking. Looking through, this is really the prime battle here. Head back on board with Aaron. May actually switch to be on board with Darren up here. Just seems that hairpin gets really, really close, but one thing I have to say is Darren, or Steve up here in P2 in the black car, he is not making this easy for himself because he's trying to save fuel and he has no draft. Whereas it's a little bit easier for Darren and Aaron back here because they have the draft of that car in front of them, just making just a little bit less air in front of them that they have to drive through, and that actually saves quite a bit of fuel for these drivers behind there. Just like in the real life. Last lap for Steve Fakachi was actually pretty similar to what Chris Hill was running, so interesting up here. I guess Chris is having to deal with some lap traffic up here. Robert Benson up there. So yeah, he actually was able to continue. He's about 4 laps down. So had a long period of time on the pit lane. And he wisely goes off for our leader, Chris Hill. Seems like everybody's just kind of holding station here at the moment. Really difficult to pass in these cars. There are some other series around the world that build their cars in a way that creates passing opportunities, but these are sports cars, and there's no rule that they have that says that they have to do something like that to try to increase passing opportunities on the track. Like in Formula One, you have DRS, which is a rear wing flap that only works with the car following behind. They can use that for extra speed. Of course, in IndyCar, they have push to pass, which is a little bit of extra horsepower to the engine whenever the driver wants to use it during the race, but they only have about 200 seconds to use it the entire race. And then, of course, NASCAR has a whole bunch of different gadgets that they use to try to make the racing more exciting than it actually would be otherwise. Still just about a half a second between these drivers. And literally everybody else throughout the field is multiple seconds between one another. So we're just going to stay on this battle until the end of the race here. Next, about 8 minutes left in this one. Makes it easy for me. I don't have to do really much camera changing at all. We'll go on board with Aaron here, though. Maybe we'll switch it up and go on board with Aaron here. I think I like something else. Maybe something like that. The Aaron from the rear here. Back up to the front. You could hear Darren going over the dirt on the exit of the corner there. Through the final corner. You can see Robert Benson up there. They'll catch him in another couple laps. Chris Hill into the pits. He's going to be topping that up and seeing what he can do to the end of the race. That's going to set him back to 6th. I think this could be a big ask to get back up to 1st from here, but this is going to be an exciting thing to watch as this race comes to an end. Chris Hill gets out at just ahead of Jesse Brandon. I think we're going to be having pit stops from 4th on. These top 3 cars, though, they've been saving fuel the whole time here. And with that said, Aaron Dietrich here has been saving the most because he's the 3rd car in line of that group. So Hill pits, he comes out in 7th. Is he going to be able to get back up onto that podium? I think he definitely can get back to 4th. Whether he can get back to the podium, he's going to have to lay down some hot laps to get to the end here. Meanwhile, these cars up here from 1st to 3rd, their last lap was 1:40. That's pretty starting to get a little slow here. I think that Ficacci might have had a slight mistake though, and that's what's getting Dietrich and Treakle up into there. Watch out for this lapped car. Hopefully they cooperate. There they go. Fair play by Robert Benson there. Okay, Kennedy has hit the pit lane as well. Chris Hill's gonna catch Dean Tulane rather quickly up here, I think. Let's go on board with Chris. Because I think, though, that Dean has to pit here momentarily. Yeah. And Aaron might have to as well, now that I think of it. He was hit a lap. So Steve and Darren went to about the 20-minute mark. Yeah, Dietrich hitting the pit lane. So that's going to put Hill into 5th. And we'll see what Lanik and Tulane do. Dean is hitting the pit lane. So that's going to put Chris into 5th, maybe 4th. Chris is going to be circulating at about a second a lap faster. Lanik in 3rd. Does he have to pit again? We will see here. Meanwhile, our battle at the front between two drivers that are trying to go as slow as possible to save as much fuel. And if there's anything we've seen so far this season, if Fakachi is another one of these drivers that is really good at saving fuel. Aaron's back on track. He comes out in 5th, so wild card a bit is Lanik. What does he do up here? He's in that podium position at the moment. We're estimating 3 laps to go, I think. Yeah, it could be 3. Sometimes it's 2. As they cross the line, it's going to be 2 laps to go. Chris Hill. Okay, Lanik hits the pit, so that puts Chris Hill on the podium here. He is about 15 seconds back, so I don't know. Unless these drivers up ahead run out of fuel, I'm not sure if this is going to work for Chris up here. We will see. I'm sure these top 2 cars are really anxious. This is the first time they've run here. So they didn't know the strategy coming into it. Last lap for Darren Treakle is 1:41. That is about 2.5 seconds off of his best lap of the race. So they're driving extra slow to save fuel. Kind of an odd situation. You think racing, they should be trying to go fast, but if that costs you an extra 30 seconds in the pit lane, then you don't do it. Will they go fast enough to get the white flag, slow enough to get the white flag this lap, though, I guess is the question. It should be. Yeah, it will be. Is that the white flag from the stand? There it is, white flag out. 1 lap to go, I think Hill and Treakle have got it here. And in fact, they stepped up their speed that last lap with 1:39. Hill was in the minute 38. Looking through the field, if there's no other close battles other than this one at the front. So it looks like Steve and Darren getting that strategy game going here and gonna jump our pole sitter of Hill. Probably not the end of the world. He probably wanted to try something and maybe it didn't quite work out. But he's the one that got to lay down those fast laps. Treakle's right there on Fikachi. See if he can make a last lunge, take the final victory of the season. This is going to be, if Fikachi wins, it'll be his 7th win of the season. Had an awesome season, has Steve. Treakle having a little bit of an issue through the exit of the corner of the curbing there. And do they have enough fuel? And they do. Steve Fikachi gonna win final race. Oh, no, he did. Oh, yeah, he did. I thought I saw the other line that that was the finish line, but no, it was the other line. That's why he slowed up so tremendously. It's that line right there. Chris Hill comes through in 3rd. Aaron Dietrich's going to come through in 4th. Brian Kennedy going to come through in 5th. Good season by Brian here. Steve Fikachi, he can take his victory in the race celebration here. And somebody hit somebody. There we go. Aw. Chris Hill doing a little bit of destruction derby back here. We've trained him a little too well with the Thunderdome. Got some more action back over here. Let's see if I can get... Okay, we've got Dean back here. He's going to nail somebody. There we go. That's what we like to see here. Where is Scott Kim? He's coming. And we're waiting for a car that is parked on the track. And he's going to set sail. And that's how we do it here. National Capital Chapter BMW Car Club of America. Final race of the season. We'll be right back. Get our podium interviews going here. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you stick around for the podium interviews. We'll be right back. All right, we are back. Let me see if I can pull Steve up here. And let's see, he's not in here yet. There, he just came in. I'll wait one moment for him. Hey, Steve, this is Matt. Got a copy?
Sure do. How are you?
Well, you won. How many is this? 7? This is the 7th win of the season.
Makes me mad because it should have been more, but I threw a few away. But
you're right.
I'm super happy to have been in all of them. For the possibilities. So I mean, that's the goal, is to be in it, and that's what makes it fun.
Yeah, I mean, going back to those, you did have 2. Like, I want to say 2. I'm thinking Brands Hatch.
Yeah.
What was the other one? Was it Homestead? Was it okay? I thought Homestead might have been one too. Was that not one?
Homestead. No, that was last season, I think.
Okay, it starts to blend together, doesn't it?
Yeah, I spun out at Coda. I think that one could have
Oh,
been
okay.
another, but yeah, like I said, just being in the races for the lead is the fun part. Obviously, the win is the icing on the cake.
Yep. So you used the one stopper today. It looked like it really worked well. I wasn't so sure it was going to be like. Was that difficult to pull off the one stopper here?
I didn't think so. I
Okay.
mean, it's just just a matter of pace.
Yeah.
It was in the beginning. I wasn't sure what Chris was doing, so I wanted to hang on to him, but I made a mistake and got in the dirt a little bit, and he got away from me. And I said, you know what? I'm not gonna change my strategy to try to chase him down and possibly throw my strategy off. So it's probably a good thing that I made that mistake. Otherwise, I may have tried to stay at a faster pace, which just saving fuel I couldn't do in the car. I mean, even though you're saving fuel, you're still driving to the corner as hard as you can. You're still accelerating off the corners as hard as you can, but just like lifting, it feels like you're just giving away so much time.
Yeah, it's. I was trying to kind of explain that, maybe not the best way, but it's doesn't seem like that's what you're supposed to do in racing. So all of these drivers, everybody's thinking it is really difficult to train yourself to do such a thing as that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I don't know if it's like a driving style thing, but I find that I'm much more consistent saving fuel. I don't know if it's just because it takes the pressure off or what, but I don't miss apexes. I don't brake too late. So I find it just kind of lends to my driving style. But I think everybody would prefer to go all out, assuming
yeah.
you've got the pace. But it's something fun, different to do. It's not something you get to do a lot.
Well, you took the championship. You're taking that. You had 7 wins, like you said. There's 12 races, so you could have had a couple more than that. I think that's a pretty have you had a better season before, or is this
Not in this league.
Okay,
I have had a league where I won every race, but
yeah, I'm trying to think myself. I had a 7 of 10 one. They were not very happy with me. Yeah, so yeah, it feels really good, and of course they're all broadcast, so you can always come back and reminisce of the glory days.
I got friends who are like, well, how come you win all the ones you send us? Well, I'm not going to send you ones I screw up.
That's exactly right. Well, obviously, any shout outs, that kind of stuff. I think you had some fans in the audience today.
Well, first of all, thank you for doing the broadcasting. It's my understanding you're going away. Right?
Correct. Yep.
So thank you
for an all new broadcaster though. That looks pretty good based on what I looked at. So
yeah, so I mean, you've done every season that I've been here. Like you've done them all. I think I've been here 3, and you've done them all. So thank you for that. We should thank SEO Mike. He jumped up and been our lead sponsor. We have Treakle Insurance. I think he's been around since the beginning. Chris Hill, he came in this year, and we also have the Beltway Brewery. So we got a lot of supporters, which is great. I mentioned last week the VRG, who's on my car. They're having an event this weekend at Summit Point. A couple of the guys in the league will be there. I think Darren Treakle will be there. I'll be there. John Wood, who joins us sometimes. Dave Fitzgerald, who's there a little bit. And Clark Ostrom will all be out at Summit Point this weekend with the VRG. So if you're in the area, want to meet some guys from the league, come stop by. And as usual, I got to thank my wife and Rick Slicks.
Sounds good. Yeah, you mentioned Clark's name there, and so I was going through previous seasons, and I was looking at some names there, and I was like, I remembered that name, Clark Ostrom, and it was on there. So it's kind of funny that you mentioned that.
Yeah, I think as we get older, become adults, it's harder to find the time to come every week.
Yeah,
that's exactly right. We're going into winter, and we got a lot of guys who race in the real world. Will dedicate more time to this because it's art. Going to a race weekend, often you prep the week of, or you just got last minute things to do, and then you're a little bit beat the week after. So one race weekend could miss you two sim weeks, and you don't see those guys so much though.
Yeah, it's even the sim racing itself is busy, but real life racing even more busy than that. You've got to get the trailer out. You got to do all the all that kind of stuff. I know even Darren though, like he was able to make it just that he didn't might not have done the best in that race. I can't remember which one it was, but
Yeah.
he at least he showed up and did the race, and the next day he was driving to Indianapolis, I think, so for a race. Well, really good season here, and I appreciate you thanking me for broadcasting. It's been a good time. Met a lot of you guys, and it's been fun. You joined me racing in another series. I'm not sure if I'd call that racing though, but
Yeah, I'm very disappointed I missed it this week. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
I actually did a sampling of it in a different league I do, and those guys all had a great time.
Yeah.
No, that you guys are onto something there. And people who aren't sure, we're talking about racing off-road trucks on road courses, standard road courses. Pretty much anything goes. It's a real good time.
Yeah, it's like a lot of people think like that doesn't sound fun.
Yeah,
because they're too serious or something. But then you get out there and they're like, I've never had more fun in iRacing than that.
So I did the one race with you guys, and I felt like I got into it thinking it's just going to be kind of like a crash fest. But then you quickly realize, no, we're racing. Like this is a race. It's just the trucks can do a lot of things that cars can't do, which makes it fun.
Yeah, I mean there was some stupid stuff in there, and I will admit to that was my worst race actually. So anyway, Steve, it was really good talking to you. Good meeting you in this league, and wish you luck in the future.
Thank you. To you as well.
Thank you very much. Take care. All right, we'll get our next driver up here, Darren. Hey Darren, this is Matt up in the booth. Got a copy?
I do, Matt. How you doing?
Good. Well, tell me about your race. You were kind of following in the shadow of Steve there all race, and the fuel saving strategy that did gain you a position. So
yeah. I mean, I feel like that's the story of the season, following in the shadow of Steve Fakachi and Chris Hill. But I hung tight there behind Steve. I knew he was going to save some fuel, and I knew he was good at saving fuel, and I've been working on saving fuel myself. And our pace wasn't bad, honestly, considering we were saving fuel. So yeah, I just kind of hung out, and I was going to try to make a lunge there on the last lap if I could, but it's kind of hard to go all out on the very last lap when you've been saving fuel for the whole race.
Yeah.
Your rhythm gets out of whack. But yeah, no, it was a good race. I mean, I just bought the track yesterday or for last night's practice run, so I haven't had a lot. Yeah, it's not bad. At first I was like, man, but it's I had to learn the track, and I feel like it's definitely a very good Formula One track with, when you have a lot of downforce and stuff. But it's a neat track. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's, we've talked about it at a lot of tracks, and these cars is just really difficult to pass with. In Formula One, they have DRS. In IndyCar, they have push to pass, which gives about 60 horsepower. That they can use whenever they want, but these cars, they're not made to make it easy to pass. So when you guys are all running one of them, it makes it really difficult because into that hairpin corner, that's like the passing point, and I think I saw like maybe one or two passes the entire race there. So it is really difficult to get a pass done in these cars. You've got to get everybody's. We've got traction control, so everybody's kind of getting a decent run off the corner.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to separate anybody out here. I know you were like coming up on Steve's bumper each lap. I thought you might give him a little bit of the chrome horn, but never happened. So.
No, I there was a couple times I was like, oh boy, I'm pretty close, Yeah. But he was, obviously we were both saving fuel. He was braking a little earlier than I was. I try to, when I'm saving, I let off early, but I brake later than I would if I wasn't letting off. Yeah, if I hadn't let off, So But man, I tell you, a couple of these turns, I just, for whatever reason, I couldn't buy an Apex. It was just like, it got a little better in the race, but in qualifying it was tough. But in the race, because since I was saving fuel and kind of hanging out, it was a little bit better versus pushing hard, trying, I don't know what was going on with Aaron. He was behind us, and I knew he was saving fuel because he could have passed or made an attempt, but he didn't.
I would have thought that he would have had. I think he just I'm looking at his last pit stop. It was only 5.5 seconds, so he just must have had to do a splash and go.
Yeah. I wouldn't have probably fought him too hard. I wouldn't make it easy on him, but I wasn't going to, I wasn't going to make him fight too hard. But if it's like, if you want to go, but you're not going to make it,
Yep.
But it worked out better if he stayed behind, so yeah, well, I finished second.
Yeah,
it's just, yeah.
I would say Chris kind of, at least he made it interesting that, he went and did a different strategy than you guys. So then you're like, okay, what strategy is going to work? But in the end, it really wasn't much of a strategy because he was 15 seconds back. So that's it's not like if it was, say, 5 seconds back, then, then that could have been really interesting. But
yeah,
right there
I wonder if he did his short fill on that first stop, thinking we were probably going to stop on the same lap, and it kind of, I don't know. Although he would have noticed that we didn't stop. Aaron stopped on the same lap that he did. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I would say after that pit stop, though, you were only like 2.5, 3 seconds behind him before that pit stop, but then after the pit stop, it was like 8 seconds. So it was like a huge difference then. I was like, okay, then maybe that might work, but well, we're going to see. Anyway, really great broadcasting, the series here. I'm going to be out here from now on. We've got a new broadcaster coming in next season, but it's been really good, broadcasting all these races with you and Darren, and, it's been fun. So,
yeah, no, it's been fun. We're sorry to see you go, but it's also understandable.
Yeah, I mean, it's real world. I've got to spend time on some other things, but I do think I'm gonna show up to a few races here and there. I think December's looking good for showing up to some, but I think once January rolls around, I probably won't be around as much. Once I've got other leagues also I run in, and they're kind of off in December, so I can afford a little bit of extra time.
So you're gonna come and run with us? Not
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm gonna come over here and actually drive with you guys. I'm not a big GT person, but I always say this, but I did run one race with you guys before. It was at Detroit, and I was relatively confident with it. And I did an endurance race in this car at Road America one time too. So that, and I think we're running fixed setups next season too. That should help. From what
we're running the M8.
Yep. So the M8 rather than this, and that will. What bothers me on these cars? I can't drive a car that actually has ABS brakes in racing. Like, because I'm coming from the Indy car, they don't have ABS brakes. And I don't know. I use the lack of ABS brakes. I know how to drive that car. Whereas with ABS, I haven't figured that out yet.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was talking with Steve a couple of weeks ago in one of the VRG League races, and they were running the original Ford GT,
Okay, yeah.
And there's no ABS in that, and it was actually kind of nice because you could get an idea of where your breaking point is and your pressure and everything, because you just get a feel for. Whereas with the ABS in this car, it's kind of tough because you just don't. It doesn't give you a whole lot of feedback, and you get a little bit of vibration. I get a little bit of vibration somewhere. I don't know if it's I don't think it's in the pedals, so it must be in the wheel. But yeah, it's just hard to get like a good idea of where you can apply the brakes, how hard, and is the car going to slow down?
That's my total problem when I've run the GT3s. So that's why I think I'll be a little bit in a better level playing field with the GTE anyway. So
yeah, what I've found with this car is brake hard initially, and then just back off a hair, and then the car will actually brake better, slow down. You know what I'm saying? But I got to hit that ABS first just to back, and so I know to back it down. It's weird. It's it's kind of strange.
So in real life, when you're racing, do you have ABS on those cars? I would assume you probably do, right?
So my my Civic that I just sold, it did have ABS. My new car, the BMW, does not have ABS.
Interesting. Well, in real life, I've never driven a car that didn't have ABS. So, whereas the racing world, I've literally only ever driven cars with without ABS. So.
Yeah, no, it's my Integra, my original first race car, didn't have ABS. It wasn't a big issue. The Civic took a little getting used to, and the braking and the ABS and the ice mode, ice pedal, which is an issue with ABS cars sometimes. So I kind of had to learn how to brake and squeeze the brake pedal versus jamming on the brake pedal, and then. And of course, certain things, if the tire lifts up a little bit in the rear, that causes a little bit of the BMW is a lot more planted under braking. It's got big brakes. They're manual brakes. They're not power assisted brakes. So you really got to push on them.
Okay.
To get the car to whoa down. So that took me a little getting used to as well. But it's not bad. Now that I've had it, I like it. Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, what year was your Integra?
It was a 94 Integra GSR.
Okay. The reason I asked, so my very first car was a 92 Honda Prelude. So it's kind of in that similar family with the Integra.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was my first car. So it's always...
Yeah, no, that's one of the... that's the what is that, the third or fourth gen? It wasn't.
It was the third, I believe, is what that was. Yeah.
But you didn't have the VTEC.
It was the middle one, the SI, I believe is what it's called.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's a good handling platform, that car. I know a lot of some guys in the class I used to run in STL. They put a K20 in that chassis.
Well, I have an even better handling car these days. It's a RX-8. So.
Oh, you're a Mazda guy now.
I'm a Mazda guy now, yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah, I've got a couple of buddies that run RX-8s and T4.
Oh, I'm not racing it or anything, but I that is what I drive when I do drive. So.
Yeah, they're nice little cars. They have. One buddy races a T4 RX-8, and he has a street car RX-8. So
has he ever had to replace an engine?
Yes.
That's the whole joke about the rotary engine and that, particularly those ones.
I was going to say, doesn't everybody that owns an RX-8 that keeps it for any amount of time ends up replacing the engine at some point?
My engine is still the first engine, and it is actually about 10 years old. So
how many miles?
It actually is still low miles. It's like 50,000. So I actually don't drive it that much. So
at the 70,000 mile mark is when you'll start needing a new engine, probably.
Yeah, I've heard. So
yeah, it's just a matter of time, Matt. Yeah. You can't fight it.
Hopefully there will be somebody that builds those kind of engines by the time I need it.
Well, right now you can get a reman right from Mazda.
They still do that. That's what I mean though. Is but hopefully by the time I actually need it, they still are doing it. Because with anything that has a rotary engine.
Otherwise, you'll have to rebuild it. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody will do it. But
yeah,
anyway,
absolutely.
Really good talking to you, Darren.
Good talking to you, Matt.
For the season, that kind of stuff. Hagerty Insurance.
Yeah, last one of the season, and for me, I guess as a sponsor, Treakle Insurance Agency, Hagerty Insurance, Hagerty Motorsports. See if I get this right. Precision driving instruction. I think it was. Close. Is that right?
Precision racing instruction.
Damn it! Well, at least I remembered. I had part of it right. And of course, you for doing the broadcast, Scott for setting up, Sten over there at Beltway Brewery, SEO Mike. Thanks to everybody. It was fun. See you guys next season.
Very good. Well, I'll see you on track possibly.
I hope so. Thanks, Matt.
Yep.
See you, man.
All right, we will get. Hey, Chris, this is Matt up in the booth. I'm doing some like extended interviews today, so sorry for making.
Yeah,
you
we were
wait.
noticing. No, it's all good.
Well, the one stop or two stopper did not work out, but I mean, how did you think it was going to work out, or were you just going to be like, I'm just going to go all out in this one, see what happens?
Well, it's funny. Somewhere along the line, I guess I didn't get the math right when I was sitting there trying to figure out if I could do a one stop. And throughout practice, every time I kind of tried to reach the number I thought I had to reach, which I guess I was off on that number. It just didn't seem possible. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm going two stop. And of course, got to whatever it was, lap 11, and I'm going pretty much flat out the whole time, and I'm like, oh man, this is not. They're going one stop, and unfortunately, I just didn't have enough pace advantage with the not saving fuel to be able to make it make sense, and so yeah, it was one of those things that like most of the race, I was sitting there just hoping that maybe they were doing like a long two stop or something, but I kind of figured it wasn't going to work, and I was just hoping somewhere along the line they were going to have to save enough that I'd start catching up, but it definitely wrong decision.
Well,
when
it made
all
it.
done.
This is what I told Darren, or maybe Steve as well. I said at least it made it interesting because you didn't have all the leaders doing the same thing, and we got to at least look at you and say, is this guy going to be running a second and a half lap of faster and actually catch these guys? But did not quite work out today for you, but still really good season. I think you had 3 wins in the season, and I don't know. It's going to calculate somewhere, and Scott will post it, but I'm sure you finished in probably the top 3 in the points in that whole thing.
I think I ended up 4th. I ended up missing 3 races this season, and that really hurt any chance I had at going for the championship. Obviously, there was 2 dropped races, but with the point system the way it is, there's not a big benefit for winning versus not. So kind of if you miss one, you have to make up 15 points somehow, and that's a lot to try to make up. So, it ended up being, it was still a fun season though. Definitely glad the fuel saving stuff is over with for now, because I've proven that that's not my strength. So, we'll have to figure that out eventually, how to go fast and save fuel like Steve does. But, and Darren did it today too. I think that was the first time I've seen him pull off the one stop this season, or maybe he did once before, but that's the first one that comes to mind for me. So,
well, over in Formula Indy, we had a couple of those too, didn't we? Where,
for sure.
Like, I had no expectation that anybody would make it on a one stopper at Interlagos. I mean, everybody knew Indianapolis Road would be a one stopper, so we all did that, but. Man, and then VIR was the other one that was the one stopper. That one I could sort of understand in the end, but it didn't occur to me before that. So, yeah.
It's funny in the Indy cars. I remember the first season, I was actually like almost could have pulled off that one stopper in that race, but just decided I didn't want to risk it on the old reds for half the race. So I decided for the two stop that time, and somehow I think I do pretty decent on that car in saving fuel, but I don't seem to do it in this car, or at least not in comparison to Steve. So
that's what it is, right?
definitely changes things up there. But it was it's been an entertaining season. Either way, not quite as good of a result as I would have hoped for most of the season. But hey, I'll take it where we can get it. So
that's right. Well, obviously I'm not going to be broadcasting this next season, but it's been really good. I got to know you through this series. It's great to have you run over in Formula Indy with us. And it's just great to have you over here and good getting to know you. And
sure, it's been awesome to have the have you broadcasting for us, and I'm sure you'll be missed. To definitely you do a great job of presenting it and all that, and like I said, it'll be a little bit of a shame not to have you around anymore, but Hey, I'll see you over in Forma Indy and other places. So,
and other places, yeah. So I do think that the new group that's coming on board, I believe it's like V Speed or something like that. I do think that they're pretty good. So I think that we'll be in good hands over here. I do think I'm going to try to show up in December to a couple races, and actually I'm talking racing. So
awesome.
I at least might do that once the new year rolls around, though I think I probably won't be as much. Might show up here and there, but
yeah, you got a lot of work to do with Formula Indy Series and stuff.
That's
so
the thing is like that does take a long time, and just like normal day job, and then having a life otherwise is just, it's all very time consuming. And this started as in the middle of COVID. This started, and things are a little bit picking up since then, right? So
for sure,
yeah. I mean, it's fun and all, but sometimes work needs to happen over play. So
it's a strange concept.
Yeah, however, for you get to play a lot, don't you?
For sure. Yeah, I try to make my life playing for a living as much as I can. So that's right. Very, very fortunate to get to do that, and having a good time teaching others to race and all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Well, hey, give a shout out to all that kind of stuff, and any final thank yous you have.
For sure. Well, yeah, definitely. I have the company Precision Racing Instruction, which you can find us on either Instagram or Facebook, and do private instruction in your own car, whether it's just a track day thing or racing, or we do the sim stuff too. But primary focus these days is going out to the track with people and helping them with their real machines out there and having some fun. And also do the full-time gig out there at the Performance Center. So anybody who wants to come on by and get coaching out there too, we do that too. And other than that, definitely want to thank Scott for putting on a great series. It's always fun to race in the series, and it just keeps getting better every season. So the competition is getting tighter and tighter, and it's cool to see some of the guys that were kind of maybe top 5 and kind of but a distance back before, all of a sudden starting to make their way into the top 3 and 4, and right there on the tail of the leaders and stuff. So that's been really cool to see the pack tightening and everybody getting better, and the competition getting better. And so that's good. And hopefully the series keeps growing and gets better as we go. Obviously, a big thank you to you for doing all the broadcasting and stuff, because it's super cool. I mean, it makes it real. Even though it's virtual stuff, it's still something you can share and have a professional product to be able to share with your friends and family and stuff. So that's super cool. So, and congrats to Steve, of course, for the championship. Well deserved. He even if I'd been here all the races, I wouldn't have beat him this season. He definitely had it wrapped up this season. So that was that's super cool. So
yeah, he ended up winning like 7 of them, I think is what it is, and there's another 2 or 3 that he could have won, but he had a couple pit entry issues at a couple races, I want to say, and then there was kind of a string of bad luck for him, but he had all those wins otherwise, so it's not really bad luck. It's just you can't win them all. So
yeah, and I had a couple races I probably could have been up there, but like last week's catastrophe, and this week just picking the wrong strategy. But definitely, I wanted to beat him enough races to take in that. It might have been pretty close if I'd made all the races, but but either way, congratulations to him and to Darren, and I think Aaron got me in 3rd there is what it looks like when I saw the championship. So I ended up 4th for the season, but it's great time. So looking forward to more. But
sounds good. Well, I'll see you around, Chris. Really good meeting you through this series, and seeing you, like you said, in other series in the future.
Yeah, for sure.
All
right. Well,
take care.
See you around.
Yep.
Okay. Bye.
All right, we're gonna get talk to Scott here. Let's see, where is Scott on here? There he is. A Ghostbusters car. Hey, Scott, this is Matt up in the booth. Got a copy?
Hey, Matt. Yep, copy here.
Hey, well, how's it going? You still got that Ghostbusters car on. Just FYI, Halloween's over.
I know, right? I was going to get a Thanksgiving schemed one, but just couldn't get it painted.
So
Yeah.
are you telling us
Mhm.
that you're gonna have a Christmas car when the GTE comes around in December?
What did you hear this?
No, I'm just saying because you're doing themed
Yes,
liveries. So
it's a weather theme. Yes, it could happen. Let's say that way. Let's put it that way.
okay, all right. So no, like if nobody told me anything.
Okay, all right.
I'm
Yes,
just guessing here. So
gotcha. All right.
hey, well, tell me about your race, and then I'll just also say that hey, it's been great
Right.
broadcasting these. However many seasons it's been, I bet my channel here, Race Verse channel, has
Cool.
like more BMW races than anything else.
Nice.
So,
Well, yeah. Let's see. We started end of September last year, so 14 months.
mhm.
I think that's how long we went for. Well, I guess yeah, September. Yeah, so it's about 14 months. So yeah, almost nonstop, 40 some races I think
Yeah,
over that time frame.
been a
Um,
lot.
it's been a lot. Yeah, we went through a lot of cars and a lot of tracks. So yeah, the race went well today. I think I started at 10 and finished at 9 or 10. I think Jesse had a little mishap toward the end, but yeah, I drove Z4 all day yesterday, and it was very frustrating. It was like I was like doing everything I can to break 142, and the car
Wow.
was just barely keeping up. Just the traction, lack of traction in the tire model.
Tire
So then
model is really important and just in
it's
iRacing
very,
and sim racing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like in Z4, cold tire the first couple laps, but then it never gets any better. Like it doesn't feel grippy, and you can't tell if it's going bad or not until it does,
Hmm.
and it's very drastic. Yeah, it's a little frustrating. So, but
But
yeah, M4,
when you do drive it, it sounds
hmm
better and it looks better.
it sounds awesome. Yes, sounds really mean. Yeah,
Yeah.
none of this like lawnmower sound on M4 here.
I still think the M4
Yeah,
I still think it sounds okay to me.
sounds
And
okay.
I've said it multiple times, but really the look of the car, the M4 I'm
hmm
talking about, has come I know like when the prototype first came around, everybody's like,
Yeah.
"Whoa,
Oh my goodness.
that's
Yeah.
not too good
No.
looking." But it's
Right.
really grown
Right.
on me. Like I don't
It's
know if it's
it's
because
not
I'm
bad.
broadcasting these and I have to look at them for
Yeah.
40 minutes
Yeah.
every week, but
Yeah.
they really have grown on me. So.
Yeah, it's not bad. I know they're testing the real car this weekend at 24-hour Sebring,
Hmm.
and they're Bill Oberlin and those guys are saying, really awesome things about the car. And I mean, yeah, the design wise, it's not really my thing, but the car, I'm sure it's very functional, and it's got high tech, nothing but aerodynamics in it.
Yeah.
I'm sure the car will be very fast. Um, yeah, I mean, because we paint our own cars here, I mean, and they look pretty cool, and
Hmm.
I got used to that too. So I was like, oh, it's not too bad looking, but yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, just how
Mm.
we're living in the year 2021 and
Mhm.
aerodynamics, they do it with, computers and everything like that,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
not so aesthetically pleasing is sometimes
No,
faster.
I
And we
agree.
see
It
that if you watch Formula One, like some of those front wings
mhm.
on the car look super
Looks
ugly, but
wicked. Yeah.
yeah, but that's just the way aerodynamics works, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unless they
I
mandate something like this is the look, and actually, that's kind of what Formula One's doing next year. It's gonna look,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
gonna look the way it looks.
Yeah, there's no way those are human designed. I mean, that's got to be like, machine learning or something to
Hmm.
get those drag coefficient down to that point and let the machine figure out all the angles and stuff. So, yeah, there's just no way.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, exactly. Um,
Well,
yeah. Mhm.
really great broadcasting, like you just said, 14 months. I think you're in good hands. You told me who the new broadcaster is,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
some people might feel like there's competition in the whole broadcasting market.
Mhm.
I think everybody, like, we're all trying to do something good here,
Oh,
for
okay.
everybody.
Yeah.
So I'm not like jealous in any way or anything like that. I wish you
Okay.
guys the best of luck. I
Oh,
think we're
thank you.
all
And
trying to make sim racing legitimate.
mhm. Mhm.
And as a legitimate motorsport, and
Yeah, definitely.
never feel any ill will or anything like that. I
Yeah.
think it's
No,
great, and
I agree. I think the guy's been very responsive when I was looking for the broadcasters, and a lot of them are NASCAR somehow.
Yes.
So they were somewhat, some guys were like very excited about, hey, it'd be good to do like road racing, and of course BMW logo behind it. So they were very happy to do that. And some of the guys are really expensive. So that was another
Yeah,
I
yeah.
balanced that between quality and the price and everything. And so we ended up with the V Speed, and so yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. So we shall see how it goes.
Well, and as I've been telling everybody, I think that I'll probably
Mhm.
be around a few races next season driving.
Good. Please do.
Um,
Yes.
I think what it's looking like is December does look good for me, but once
Good.
January rolls around and
Yeah.
get back to work, and plus
Mhm.
my own league gets
Mhm.
back to running then as
Good.
well. So
Okay.
a lot of time
Good.
involved with the sim racing stuff in addition to real
Awesome.
world stuff. But
Yeah. That's
really
awesome.
been great broadcasting for you here, Scott, and
No, it's been a
wish you
it's
guys the best.
yeah, it's a pleasure having you, and every week, and I certainly look forward to watching the replay every week after the race, good or bad. And I love the action and the all the coverages. It's been great. I mean, the camera angle, and like the track walk and everything.
Mhm.
It's awesome. So it's been
Well,
great.
I think here's what one thing I know you're always looking forward to is that Wreck Fest at the end of this Destruction
Yes.
Derby. So I can tell you, I don't want to spoil anything, but once you
Right.
watch
Right.
the entire race today, I think you got a good
Uh-huh.
one. You got a good one at
Yes.
the end. So yeah, we went
We
off on
did
a
have
high
a good one today.
note.
Yeah. Yakov and my record pretty epic. So
Yeah,
yes.
they're pretty good.
Awesome.
So hey,
Okay, good.
Scott, you
Yep.
take care, and I'll
Yep.
see you. I could see you here in a few weeks' time. Have a
Oh,
happy
absolutely.
Thanksgiving and a happy holiday though too.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving and everything, and thanks again for everything, and you've been really great to us, and best of luck to you, and we'll definitely see you around.
Sounds good, Scott. Take care.
All right, take care. Thanks.
Thanks.
Bye.
All right. Well, let's go through our final results. Final race, a race versus covering here. NCC BMW Car Club of America. Steve Ficacci taking, this is, I believe, his 7th win of the season, followed by Darren Treakle, Chris Hill, Aaron Dietrich, Brian Kennedy, Peter Lanik, Dean Tulin, Yakov Bielik, Scott Kim, Jesse Brannon, Matthew Stover, Peter Yerkes, Sten Cellier, Robert Benson. He had a tough race, had a long pit stop in there, finished about 5 laps down, unfortunately for him. But congratulations, Steve Ficacci, for the championship here. And as always, thanks to all the sponsors here in the series. And Scott Kim for bringing us on. Like he said, 14 months. Pretty impressive here. We've raced something like 40 plus races here on the channel. I've covered them all here for you guys. And everybody take care out there. Have a happy holiday season. And maybe you'll see me on track when you tune in to the V-Speed broadcast. Really looking forward to those. I think they're going to do a great job. So take care, everybody.